Hello, Jen here with a project for the Wild Whisper design team. I am making a mini album today. Well, I'm going to start it anyways. I kept the passes that my husband and I had for the Calgary Comic Expo last year. That's what I'm using right there. And I thought that they would make really good covers for a mini album. They're nice and thick and strong, and I just thought it would be a fun way to scrap this event. We go every year, so I think this is maybe our 7th or 8th year. And after a while, I mean, it's fun every year, and I love scrapping the photos, but it's fun to try and mix it up a little bit. And I've actually never made a mini album with these particular photos, so yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I had the idea right away. I kept the passes. I kind of knew the size that the album was going to be, so I went ahead and printed all of my photos. You can see here, I just made collages on 4x6, so most of the photos are 2x3. There's a couple that are a little bit bigger, and there's a couple that are a little bit smaller, but for the most part, they're all 2x3. So I knew that I would be able to get 2 or 3 photos per page. And I just took all of the papers in the collection and cut them all down. Some of them I made 2 pages, like the TARDIS paper has 2 pages. The Lightsaber paper has 3 pages, I think. It really depended on what was on each side. So we didn't really do a ton of photos of Disney characters this year. So I didn't need as many pages with the Disney castle in the background. But I wanted the lightsabers. So really it just depended on the themes. The only one that I kept full was the Hogwarts paper, because I was worried if I cut that one, you might not be able to tell what it is, especially when you start putting pictures on it. So I'm going to do a full 12 by 12 layout with that one. But all the other papers got cut, and I still have a ton left over even after cutting up the papers into these pages. I still have lots left to play with. So this is definitely a collection that's stretching really far. So what I decided to do, I'm not going to scrap or create the pages chronologically. I'm going to sort of go by theme, at least while I'm creating them. So as I was going through all of my pictures and cutting them apart, I decided to start with Star Wars. We have a ton of Star Wars pictures because Fox dressed up as Darth Vader, and this year he really took to all of the characters and wanted photos with all of the characters. He's always been a little bit shy in previous years and not really wanted to ask to have a picture. He would do it every once in a while, but this year he just everything. He hunted characters down trying to get pictures with them. So I have a ton of them. So I'm going to try and get as many as possible onto each of the pages. So this one I'm able to get 6 photos because I'm going to do these 2 little tip-ins. Are they called tip-ins if it's a mini album? I don't know. Is that a technical term, or is that just like a art journal traveler's notebook term? It doesn't really matter. Anyways, you can see here I have 2 pictures that I'm going to put directly onto the background paper. And then with the other 4 pictures, I just adhered them back to back. Did you just hear my husband sneeze? Sorry about that. So you can see I sandwiched some washi tape in between the 2 pictures and then tucked it under the picture that's right on the background paper, and that's how you get that tip in. And I'm using some of the EK Success glue dots that I have because they're really, really sticky, and so they stick really well to the Wild Whisper paper and also to that washi tape, so I can make sure that even, if the kids are pulling out this album and going through all the pages, or whoever is looking at it, that this stuff can really be handled without anything falling off. So everything's reinforced really well. And now I'm just going to go through the ephemera, and I kind of have the ephemera already sorted into the different themes. I think I have pictures for almost every theme, except maybe, I don't think I took any photos of Game of Thrones stuff, just because so much of our pictures revolve around the kids, and they're not really, obviously they're only 6 and 7 in these photos. They're not really Game of Thrones fans, but I do have some Game of Thrones type stuff that I can use, or that, you know, pictures that the ephemera and stuff can go with. But other than that, I think I have at least one photo from every fandom that's included in this collection. So I kind of put things into their little themes ahead of time, so that as I'm pulling stuff out, I kind of know what I have and where stuff can go. I got blue all over my all over my mat, all over my fingers, and all over that background paper. But that's okay, it washes off. And I'm not using this background paper for the castles anyways. So I'm going to try and cover it up. So I'm going to basically use this one 4x6 photo. All of the pictures are in the right orientation. So I'm just going to keep them all together instead of cutting them apart. And this is a paper from the More Adventures collection. I used it last week with my Doctor Who layout. And for whatever reason, I had the foresight to save 2 little slivers of it, and it came in really handy here because I was able to put one at the top and one at the bottom, and that just makes sure that this whole background is covered up. So I'll just glue those down, and then I can stick the photo right over top, and that will be the back of the paper, or the back of this page. And again, it's all pictures of Fox with his different characters. There's R2-D2 and another Darth Vader. And I don't know who else is in there. He had so much fun this year. As he gets older, it's more and more fun to go with him because he just really gets into it. So right where all of those pictures cross, I'm going to go ahead and put 2 lightsabers from the ephemera pack. And I zoom in, but of course I forget that I'm zoomed in. So for the next page, I think I'm mostly off screen. I'm just going to go ahead and apologize to you for that right now because I know it's coming. And then I put that little phrase that says, I don't need rescuing. I thought that was kind of cute too. And kind of for him, it means a little bit more too, because it's one of those things where he really came out of his shell this year, and so he kept kind of looking over at me like, I'm okay, Mom, I promise, I'm good. I'm going to go and get a picture and say hi to these people, and you don't have to worry about me being shy anymore. So... And on that page, I put that awesome. I was trying to find a place to put it, and then I decided to go right here for the sole reason that it kind of keeps those 2 little flip outs from wanting to stay flipped out, if that makes sense. It kind of holds them in place. So I thought that was a good spot to put the awesome. Now I'm going to incorporate this card that says the force is strong with this one, and kind of do again another little tip in. So I've sandwiched a piece of washi tape between the background paper and that 4x6 photo, and then I'm just going to use some of those glue dots to really glue it down and reinforce it. And now I'll cover the back of this card. The back is a Stranger Things quote, so I'm going to cover that up with more of this cool washi tape. It's kind of like black with silver glitter in it, so I thought it was sort of galactic, I guess. And this washi tape has stars on it, so I thought that worked really well too. I'm trying to keep all of the embellishments as flat as possible, so that everything is just really simple, and there isn't a ton of extra bulk or a ton of extra things that could fall off. I know the kids are going to look through this quite often, so I really don't, every time someone takes it out, I really don't want it to be falling apart. So I'll put one picture on the back here. This is actually a picture of Fox with a real lightsaber. I mean, as real as you can get. The booth makes custom lightsabers, so you can go and order, is it called the hilt, the base of the lightsaber? They carve them out of wood, or they hand make them out of metal, whatever you want. And then the actual lightsaber itself is like this big glass tube with the neon, or however they make it light up. And I think the cheapest one that they had was $400 or $500. And so, of course, Fox is attracted to this booth like moths to a light. He just has to go to it. And so I kept telling him, okay, you have to stay away. He was only 7, and so I was really nervous because he would want to touch all of them. So I kept saying, you just look, don't touch, and stuff like that. And then the man behind the booth saw him and came out front to kind of talk to him a little bit about them and explain how he made them and stuff. And then he took one off of the display and handed it to Fox, and it was like a $3,000 custom-made lightsaber that he just casually handed off to a 7-year-old. So, of course, after taking lots of pictures, I hastily gave it back to him and thanked him very much, and then kind of rushed Fox away from that booth because we did not have $3,000 to spend on that super cool lightsaber, and I did not want him to break it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. He was pretty proud of himself that day. So on the back of this paper, again, you saw the lightsabers, and then on the back is the castles. So I want to cover that up. So I'm going to use this piece of paper here, and this is from a paper pad that a friend of mine and I split, a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now. It was from Michael's, and it's all Marvel comics. And I thought that the black with the red dots at the bottom really matched the whole Darth Vader Star Wars feel. So that's what I covered this paper up with. And then I'm going to use that 4x3 card with the lightsabers on it. Again, just down at the bottom. And these are 2 little 2x2 photos that I have. One is Fox just taking a break, taking a breather, hanging out with his mask up. And then the other one is he's actually walking away from us, but he had taken his mask off and turned it around. So he looked like he was looking at us, but really he's actually walking away from us. And I just thought it was a funny picture. It was the end of the day. Everyone was exhausted, and we were just kind of slugging our way back to the car, and the people behind us who were walking behind us, at one point Fox kind of slings his lightsaber up over his shoulder, kind of like it's like a hobo bag, and they were killing themselves laughing at him. Like, even Darth Vader has long days and just wants to get home at the end of the day. So it was pretty funny. And then I just had these 3 leftover pictures of just Fox by himself, but I don't have other pictures that kind of fit into these fandoms, so I thought I would just throw them onto this 3rd page, and I just picked the red star paper because I think that one kind of works the best, and I added some stars from the ephemera pack and some little phrases from Tim Holtz. And I'm also going to add some sequins from the exclusive Spiegel Mom Scraps sequins that match the the Fandom collection. And then on the back of this paper, I found a couple of really cool business cards. I collect all the business cards from all of the artists especially. It's a great way to have little samples of all of their art. So on the back of that paper, I just stuck 2 business cards down, and one of them is this really cool t-shirt company. So I had some pictures of their booth and all the t-shirts from their booth. You'll see that in just a second. So I added those pictures. And that's it for the first 3 pages of the mini album. I'm going to keep going with this for the rest of the month. So if you have any questions, leave them for me down below. And be sure to check out the Wild Whisper shop and blog. I have the links down below too. You can use DTGen to get 10% off of your next purchase. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy scrapping. Bye.